Hey everyone, this is Diego and welcome back to Fluentcast. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever tried scheduling a meeting with someone in another country and got completely lost in time? You send a message saying, "Let's meet at 9," and suddenly you realize, wait, 9 where? My 9? Their 9? When it's Monday morning for me, it might already be Tuesday for you or still Sunday night. Confusing, right? Today, we are going to travel through time, quite literally. We will explore how humans created time zones, how languages express time differently, and how our ideas about time actually reveal something deeper about culture and about us. So, wherever you are, morning, afternoon, or maybe in the middle of the night, welcome to this little journey through the language of clocks. As usual, let's time travel to the past a little bit, to a world without clocks, without trains or Wi-Fi meetings. For thousands of years, people measured time by the sun. When the sun was high, it was noon. When shadows got long, it was evening. Simple, right? Every city had its own local time, based on when the sun reached its highest point. So imagine you lived in London and your friend was in Bristol, just a couple of hours away, and your clock showed 12 o'clock, but theirs showed 12:15. That was normal. But then came trains and telegraphs in the 1800s. Suddenly, people were moving and communicating faster than ever. If every town used a different time, chaos was guaranteed. You could literally miss a train because your city was 15 minutes behind. That is when a Canadian engineer named Sir Sanford Fleming had an idea. Divide the world into 24 parts, one for each hour, based on longitude, the invisible lines that go from North Pole to the South Pole. Each section would share the same time, and that is how the system of time zone was born. To standardize something means to make it the same everywhere. So, by standardizing time, the world finally agreed on what 3 o'clock actually meant, no matter where you are. And just think, without that system, your phone, your calendar, your flights, everything would still be chaos. Can you imagine trying to catch a train if every city had its own clock? Yeah, no one would ever be on time. Now that time became global, people started to talk about it in their own ways. And that is where language adds some kind of interesting fact. In English, we can say it's 6:30, for example. In German, people say 7:30, which actually means 6:30 or 6:30. In Spanish or Portuguese, you would say seis y media in Spanish, or 6:30 in Portuguese. 6:30. Different logic, same moment. It's a reminder that time isn't just numbers, it's how our minds organize the day. The expression we use for time reflect culture, and sometimes cause a bit of confusion for travelers. Ever mixed up AM and PM? You are not alone. Someone says, "Let's meet at 9," and you think it's morning, but they meant night. Oops. And what about the 24-hour format? In many countries, 1800 hours is 6 p.m. But if you are new to it, your brain needs a second to translate. The way we speak about time really shapes how we feel it. Language teachers love this part because when you translate time literally, you sometimes realize how your own culture sees the day. Here is something quite interesting. Even though the world agreed on a 24-hour system, not everyone uses it in the same way. For example, China, one of the largest countries on Earth, uses only one official time zone. That means when it's 9 a.m. in Beijing, it's also 9 a.m. thousands of kilometers away in Tibet, even though the sun is in a completely different position. Spain, on the other hand, follows Central European time. Even though it's actually west to the UK, that decision dates back to the World War II, when Spain synchronized with Germany's time zone and just never changed back. And then there are countries that go their own way. In India, it's 5.5 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. Nepal, 5 hours and 45 minutes. Yes, 45 minutes. So, even the concept of time zones created to standardize the world still shows how diverse we are. And let's not forget daylight saving time. That is when some countries decided to move their clocks 1 hour forward due to summertime to save some energy or electric demand. And if you ever missed a meeting because someone forgot to change their clock, you know the pain. Traveling across time zone brings another fun word, jet lag, that tired fog feeling that you get after a long flight, when your body's time doesn't match your watch. Your brain saying good morning, but the sun says good night. You know what I'm talking if you ever travel to a distant country in a very different time zone. It's a strange reminder that time isn't just on the clock, it's inside us. And because the way we feel time depends on where and how we grew up, in many Western cultures, time is linear, like a line moving forward. When we think in terms of progress, goals, deadlines, we always see this in a linear way, moving forward. We even say things like time flies or don't waste time, as if it is a limited resource we can't lose. In other cultures, especially many indigenous and Eastern traditions, time is cyclical. It moves in circle, like the seasons or the moon. There is no rush, just rhythm. And this is quite different concept for people in Western cultures to grasp. I would say that neither view is wrong. They are just different perceptions, different ways of organizing experience. In English, we talk about the pace of life, how fast or slow things happen. Some people like a fast pace, always busy, always running. Others prefer a slower one, more mindful, more connected. So, when you learn a new language, you are not just learning new words, you are learning a new sense of time. That is what makes language learning such a deep cultural experience. Now, as usual, let's pause for a second and notice some of the key words that I spoke here. You've heard time zone, standardized, longitude, jet lag, pace, linear, cyclical, deadline, perception. I used a lot of words here. Each one carries a little story. Standardize, which means to make things the same everywhere. Longitude, those vertical lines that help locate places on Earth. If you ever saw a globe with all the countries, you might see some lines, vertical lines, and that is called longitude. I also use the word jet lag, that feeling after flying to another country, which a faraway country, you feel like tired, you feel the jet lag. Another word I used here, deadline. This is very important, very common, especially if you are learning English for professional objectives. Deadline, the final moment when something must be finished. And another word I use here, perception, the way we see and understand something. See, you didn't just learn vocabulary, you traveled through it. I was giving you all these words in my conversation, and the best way for you to understand the words is to see the words in a context. So, try to observe the phrases, maybe you can go back the episode a little bit and try to use those words. It will enrich your vocabulary. Alright. Here is something I love to think about. Right now, as you are listening to me, maybe you are drinking your morning coffee, maybe you are sitting in traffic, maybe you are already in bed, ready to sleep. Different hours, same planet, and two people might be doing exactly the same thing in different time zones. Time divides us into zones, but language connects us. We live in different rhythms, but we share one 24-hour heartbeat. So, what time is it where you are right now? And what are you doing at this exact moment? Somewhere, someone might be waking up or starting a class or saying goodnight, and maybe, just maybe, they are also listening to Fluentcast. So if you'd like to send us a message, tell us how you talk about time in your language and how many hours separate you from Europe or from Brazil or from anywhere in the world. It's one of those questions that makes the world feel both huge and incredibly close. So, what did we discover on this little journey through time today? That before clocks, time was guided by the sun, that one man's idea connected the whole planet, that language don't just tell time, they feel it, and that even though the world spins in different hours, we are all part of the same 24-hour story. That is why I love doing this podcast so much, because every time we shared an episode, it's like opening a small window between time zones. For a few minutes, we meet in the same moment. So whatever and whenever you are listening, thank you for spending your time with us. Time may separate us, but language brings us closer. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Fluentcast and share it with someone in another time zone, literally. And if you'd like to use your time in a way that truly adds value, come study with us at Fluent English Academy, where learning English means understanding the world one story at a time. Guys, that's it. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon next week as usual. Take care, everyone. See you. Bye-bye.